Pull up a chair. We've got another captivating story in the AR lounge. Leaving behind a shrine of lingerie after a breakup is like slamming the door, just with more lace and less noise. Today, we're mixing a little drama with some closure. First up, a meticulously crafted plan for revenge on my cheating husband. I discovered his infidelity last November. I've known him since I was 5, and we've been married for 5 years. 2 months ago, he wanted a divorce, but then he came crawling back, asking for a second chance. Little does he know, I'm stashing away $500 a month from him to fund my escape. He has no idea I'm getting in shape for my future partner, someone who'll appreciate me. Even better, I created a fake Snapchat profile and added his father, who's now unknowingly cheating on his mother with me. Once I'm out, I'll be sending all the screenshots to his mother. Normally, I wouldn't drag anyone else into this, but his mom blamed me for her son's betrayal. Won't it be ironic? I've also talked to my rental manager and signed a contract to vacate our apartment in December, right when he'll be away. Just imagine him returning to new locks, missing belongings, and nowhere to go. Oh, and his dream car. It's in my name because I have better credit. I'm already selling it, and it will be towed to California the same week he's on vacation. I refuse to let anyone take me for granted ever again. I'm not about to let someone cheat on me and then try to pick me as a second option later. Revenge is sweet, right? For those who haven't read my previous post, here's a bit of an update and a question. Some of you were upset with me for involving his parents, but they knew about his affair and actively lied to me when I asked about him. To give you some context on how I found out, one day, he said he was going to his parents' house an hour away. I had a gut feeling and decided to follow him. I called my best friend to borrow her mom's car so he wouldn't recognize us. We parked down the street, and the first thing I noticed was that his car wasn't there, even though he had texted me saying he arrived safely. I tried to convince myself he was just running an errand or something. We waited for 4 hours, and he never showed up. I called his parents, who weren't even home, and they lied, saying he was with them and taking a nap. When he finally came back that night, I looked through his phone and found explicit messages between him and someone we both know. The texts were graphic, and there were videos and nudes exchanged. She had clearly tried multiple times. Sure, here's a rewritten version. She would often say things like, "I love you," or ask, "Why can't I be your wife?" But he would quickly shut her down. I'm not sure what that means, but I felt compelled to grab my phone and take screenshots of their conversations, along with recordings of the videos they sent each other. In the middle of this, she texted him, "Same time next week." That sent me running to the bathroom, where I threw up everything in my stomach. I don't know why it hit me so hard. I was already aware of the affair, but seeing it unfold in real time was devastating. Last night, my husband asked me if I had ever considered getting back at him. I asked what he meant, and he suggested that I might want to sleep with someone else to pay him back for what he did. I told him that while it crossed my mind, cheating is what got us here in the first place, and it wouldn't solve anything. He actually encouraged me, saying it might help me forgive him and move on, like he was offering a free pass. His sudden suggestion feels suspicious to me. Any advice? It's clear you've put a lot of thought into your next steps, and your detailed plan for managing finances and improving your well-being shows great strength. His suggestion seems like a classic attempt to deflect responsibility for his actions, manipulating the situation to shift focus away from his betrayal. It's about him trying to make you feel guilty or pressured, rather than addressing his own wrongdoing. I'm confronting the real issue here. Don't let his attempts to deflect or manipulate cloud your judgment. You deserve to prioritize your own needs and make decisions that are right for you, not based on his attempts to shift blame or create confusion. What would you do in this situation? Would you take the freebie he offers? The only thing he's really good at is keeping secrets, and not very well at that. After discovering he was cheating a few weeks ago, I've been spiraling, fueled by anger and disgust. I had a gut feeling, so I checked his phone while he slept. Those 20 minutes felt like an eternity, and the shame of it all keeps me from talking to anyone. I moved across the country for him, so I'm completely alone. No friends or family here. The next morning, he woke me up with kisses and breakfast, showering me with affection, probably out of guilt. For the first time, he even brought me flowers after I'd hinted at wanting them for years. He mistook my quiet crying for happiness and even mentioned buying a house for us, envisioning a future with children. Every day, I still go through the motions, making his breakfast, packing his lunch, and preparing dinner while he's at the gym. What infuriates me most is that I genuinely believed he wouldn't betray me. He witnessed his father cheat on his mother, who struggled with infertility while dedicating her life to them, only to pass away from ovarian cancer shortly before we met. Sometimes I wonder if she regretted staying with him. I'm creating a shrine in her honor, seeking guidance. I love the man she raised, but I struggle with the person his husband has shaped him into. Regardless, he's an adult and capable of self-control. So I've decided to walk away. Next week, my car will be picked up and shipped home, and I've booked first-class tickets for me and my dog, all at his expense. When he comes home from work, everything I brought will be gone, including me. The only thing I might regret is not being able to see his reaction when he walks through the door and realizes what's happened. I'm so sorry you're going through this. Letting go is incredibly hard, but it does get better with time. Take your time, but I think it can be therapeutic to confront him. Ghosting often doesn't provide closure. Facing the problem directly helped me find peace. I don't believe in closure either. I found all I needed to know when I realized he was untrustworthy. Do you have access to his phone or computer? You could install a keylogger to see what he's saying to you and to the other partners. I did this with my ex when I caught him cheating, and it revealed the lies he was telling, which made me grateful I ended things. I do have access, but I don't think it would change anything for me. His entire relationship with those partners was based on lies. Everything from his name and age to his job and personal details. He even told one person that he was married and that his wife was pregnant with twins. It was all just overwhelming. I'm really sorry to hear that you're dealing with such a tough situation. Here's a revised version without any inappropriate language. I was attacked, thinking I was involved with someone who had a family. Another community member suggested drawing a little middle finger beside the names of multiple girls and making sure there are few supplies, food, toiletries, cleaning products, left behind, leaving the house messy to show him what he took for granted. The original poster, OP, mentioned there were 7 of them, and that they would need to leave quickly, but might just settle for shrimp in the curtain rods, since he's sensitive to smells. It sounds like you have a plan, OP. Shrimp in the curtain rods is a clever idea, but if you want to make a lasting impression, why not go all out? Maybe throw a few fish under the couch, sprinkle some garlic on his pillow, and add a little spoiled milk in the fridge. It's like a creative way to remind him of how he treated you. You deserve all the happiness and a fresh start far away from him. I've been lying to my boyfriend every day and saving the money he sends me. Almost every day, he gives me money for lunch or gas, and I thought it was just his way of being kind. But I found out he was cheating, and giving me money made him feel less guilty. He even convinced me to move across the country with him, where I don't know anyone. Once I learned the truth, I wanted to confront him, but I was scared of the consequences since the apartment is in his name. I'm now saving every penny he sends me to cover the $3,000 moving fee to go back home without straining my finances too much. It's heartbreaking, and it's shattered my trust. Let me know if you need anything else. I'm fine handling men, but when it comes to my finances, that's a different story. The transport company is coming next Wednesday to take my car, and I've already booked plane tickets for me and my dog. I plan to keep up my cheerful facade, cooking dinner and scrubbing his back, until Wednesday, when I'll disappear like I never knew him. It's the only revenge I can think of that won't haunt me. Good riddance. For those asking for details, there are 7 other women involved. Everything he told them was a lie. Names, ages, heights, cities, occupations. None of it was real. The only thing we had in common? He bought us all the same lingerie set for his birthday in January, and specifically asked me to hang it up in our closet where it would be visible. Forgiveness isn't an option. As for how I found out, it was a random midnight wake-up. He was up to no good, and all I could think was that I sleep like a baby and never wake up like that. I took his phone and locked myself in the bathroom while he was asleep and gathered all the evidence. Friendship breakups are even harder than relationship ones. I'll be single again soon, and while I'm looking forward to it, being able to cook how I want, avoiding shared chores, and doing everything my way, it's bittersweet. I've been independent since I was 16 and have mostly turned out fine. I own a house and a car. I have a cute dog. I'm debt-free, and I'm finishing my master's at 25. But it's lonely. I'm not on speaking terms with my family and had a huge fallout with lifelong friends a couple of years ago. I've been trying to make friends, holding on to the hope that one day I can mend some past friendships. But since I'm moving around so much, it often feels pointless. I've never been great at long-distance relationships, and while romantic connections are nice, it's the support and understanding from a close group of women that brings me the most peace. Right now, I'm navigating some tough times and really wish I had people I could trust to talk to. Friendship breakups hit hard. On another note, when someone asked the original poster how they had a house at such a young age, they explained they lived with friends and their families until college, worked 3 jobs until they were 22, and lived frugally. A commenter pointed out that the math didn't seem to add up and mentioned missing variables. The OP clarified that they took 7 years to pay off a $70,000 foreclosure, 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, and juggled jobs like being a golf caddy, bartending, and selling items on Etsy. Scholarships also helped cover costs, and they rented out rooms to offset expenses. The commenter was thankful for the details, which provided clarity. You're really smart. Great job navigating your situation. I'm curious to see how he'll react when you leave. As for the lingerie set, if that isn't a slap in the face, I don't know what is. Just picture his expression when he realizes not only has his girlfriend disappeared, but she's also left a very clear reminder of his infidelities. I understand the loneliness you're feeling. Moving around so much and coping with a broken support network is really hard. But remember, you've accomplished so much on your own, paying off a house, pursuing a degree, and building a life from scratch. You should be proud of that. My own relationship has shown me how thin the line between love and hate can be. On March 9th, 2022, I discovered my boyfriend of nearly 4 years was cheating. We lived together for 2 years, and I'm leaving him tomorrow. He just doesn't know it yet. Despite my anger and betrayal, I still love him. I wish I could wake up tomorrow and find this was all a nightmare. It's painful to accept that the person I trusted most has lied to me for who knows how long. I constantly wonder how many times he wooed and cheated on other women while coming home to me. How many times have I been the naive girlfriend? How many times did he deceive me while I was left oblivious? Did he truly love me? Or was it all just a performance? Unlike him, I'm not a master manipulator. I'm just trying to stay composed. I'm struggling to process everything. Growing up, emotions were a liability, especially with my parents. I know I have a lot of trauma to unpack, but facing it feels impossible without slipping into self-pity. The therapy options here are limited and expensive, and my last experience was awful. The therapist tried to convince me that I enjoyed my own assault. I've been told I'm emotionally inept, and my intimacy issues make it hard to connect. When he asked about my childhood, I either brushed him off or downplayed it, which left him shocked at how much I was holding back. He understands what it's like to feel unwanted and to suffer, yet he still betrayed me. I could never cheat on someone, especially not someone who shared their deepest pains with me. Since we met, I haven't even looked at another man. Others feel like just that, others. I can't see myself dating again. I had trust issues long before this, and honestly, the idea of growing old with 30 cats sounds appealing. At least I wouldn't have to worry about betrayal anymore. Your feelings about his actions and your trust issues are completely valid. It's tough when someone uses your vulnerabilities against you, and it's natural to feel overwhelmed. Take the time you need. Sure, Loving deeply and experiencing betrayal can make it difficult to envision opening your heart again. Healing from this kind of trauma takes time, and you deserve to move forward in a way that feels right for you. Whether that means finding a therapist to help you understand your needs or simply taking time for self-care, it's okay to go at your own pace. I left my partner of 4 years after discovering he was cheating on March 10, 2022. A transport company picked up my car, and I sold most of the furniture I brought at low prices. I took his dog to the park, played with him for a bit, and even got him a dog cupcake before returning him to the apartment. Movers started arriving for the rest of my things. I had prepared for our property manager, thinking we were both moving out, but we hadn't given the required notice. She came to talk to me just as my Uber was arriving, and I explained the situation. Unfortunately, they had already contacted him since his name is the only one on the lease. He's called and texted a few times, but I haven't responded. His workday isn't over for a few more hours. I left the apartment keys and anything he gave me that I hadn't sold. I didn't want to take those items with me. As I packed, I remembered the pet camera he bought me that dispenses treats. I turned it back on, promising myself I'd disconnect it by midnight tomorrow. I have my suspicions about how he'll react, and I need to know for sure. I did forget to leave a note and was running out of time before my Uber arrived, so I left behind the lingerie set he was so obsessed with on the bed. He'll figure it out eventually, or maybe he won't. Now I'm at the airport with my dog, just waiting for my flight. Let me know if you need any adjustments. I feel a sense of freedom, though I'm also quite tired. Thank you all for the well wishes, and especially to the women who shared similar experiences with me. I might have given in and stayed if it weren't for your support. Regarding that text he received when he found out things were being moved out, he told me he got a call from property management asking if I had ordered something big and if everything was okay. This isn't just about leaving a relationship, it's about processing a lot of emotional fallout, reconnecting with myself and my dog, and finding peace amidst the chaos. That takes time, but taking this step is huge, and the sense of freedom will come. I'm glad I left. I'm stronger than I realize. March 14th, 2022. After I got home and unpacked, I turned on the pet cam for about 10 minutes. He wasn't there, but the place was a disaster. Holes in the walls, furniture flipped, papers everywhere, and the kitchen looked like a tornado hit it. I deleted all my social media accounts, but didn't block his number. In the first 2 days, he called me over 200 times and sent long texts, revealing things I hadn't even known about. His dad and friends also called, but I didn't reply to any of them. October 17th, 2022. I didn't think anyone really wanted an update, but life has come full circle. I saw my posts on my TikTok For You page. I mentioned in a comment that I suspect his dad played a role in his mum's passing, though not in a straightforward way. I just wanted to share my journey. I'm really sorry to hear about everything you've been through. I had a lot of struggles in my past. My wife contracted an STD, which led to her getting HPV. Unfortunately, without proper medical treatment, she became infertile and developed cervical cancer. I mistakenly said ovarian cancer, but no one will ever know the full truth, and I doubt that helped. My ex always claimed he didn't respect his father, and I found out he was cheating. Forgiving him was never an option for me, as I didn't want to follow in his mother's footsteps. There were no clear signs at first, but a few months in, he locked down his social media to avoid jeopardizing a promotion. I distanced myself from mutual friends for a couple of months until I figured out who I could trust not to share my new information. I didn't block his number, but I stopped responding to his texts and calls, which eventually faded away. Unfortunately, he found out where I moved and showed up at my new place one morning, which I saw on my doorbell camera. A neighbor confirmed I lived there, even knowing my dog's name. He continued to show up and left letters addressed to me, sharing things I didn't know, but nothing could make me forget what he did. I moved again before we ever came face to face. A few of his friends reached out later, mentioning his erratic behavior, but I ignored them. He wasn't my responsibility anymore. I've been asked on a few dates since, but I'm not ready. I'm still fragile and hesitant to trust. I'm amazed at the morals of some of these men. Honestly, I don't miss being in a relationship at all. People might expect me to wish him well and hope he finds happiness, but I can't. I'll carry the trauma from what he did for life, so he can have his regrets instead. On a brighter note, I found an incredible group of women who feel like family and always support me. I'm happier than I've been in years and grateful I got out before any serious commitments like marriage or kids. Most days I forget he even exists, and I never thought that would be possible. As for my health, I did get tested again and found out I was positive for Trish, which I hadn't even heard of before. Thankfully, it's all cleared up now. I didn't reach out to the other women because they used our relationship to bond, and they all knew he had a girlfriend. Some even thought we were married. I did message their boyfriends or husbands when I could find them online. Now, for some community updates. I broke up with my boyfriend last Sunday after discovering he was cheating. I found some incriminating texts, and he insisted he was innocent until the end. Then, when I had a car maintenance appointment near his house, I saw her car in his driveway and lost it. I left a note on her windshield with my number, asking her to text me. She reached out this morning and, shockingly, said she doesn't care that she's the other woman and plans to keep seeing him. I let him know I talked to her and that I can move on, knowing he's a terrible person. F cheaters. Final update. As a reminder, let's establish a protocol. If someone, regardless of gender, approaches you with a photo of a person you know, even just slightly, please don't disclose their whereabouts. This is especially important if the individual could be law enforcement. We've all seen stories about people escaping abusive partners. Instead, ask for the seeker's contact information, promising to reach out if you spot the person they're looking for. Then, speak privately with the individual in question. This way, they can choose how to handle the situation, whether to contact the seeker, inform authorities, or make their own decisions. Caution is crucial, whether it's a small issue or a bigger one. It's evident that your ex didn't handle the breakup maturely. Deleting your social media accounts was a smart move. You're demonstrating great strength through all of this. Finding a supportive group of friends can make a difference, and it's encouraging to hear that you're feeling happier. Taking time for yourself and avoiding new relationships until you're ready is perfectly okay. When the time comes, we'd love to hear your stories of revenge. Feel free to share in the comments below. Thanks for joining us on Our Space today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.